In the heart of Punjab's Mansa district lies a small, unassuming village called Musa. It was here, on June 11, 1993, that Shubdeep Singh Sidhu was born, a boy who would one day rise to become one of the most influential voices in Punjabi music. The world would come to know him by a name that would echo across continents, Sidhu Moosewala. Born into a Sikh family, the son of a retired army man, Moosewala grew up amid the deep cultural traditions and social struggles of rural Punjab. He was intelligent, charismatic, and fiercely proud of his roots. After completing his education in India, he moved to Canada for higher studies. It was during this time that his music began to take shape. What started as lyrical experiments quickly turned into viral anthems. Sidhu Moosewala's songs weren't just entertainment, they were unapologetic reflections of Punjab's realities. Themes of pride, masculinity, rebellion, caste, and justice ran through his verses. His raw voice, commanding presence, and fearless lyrics quickly made him a cultural icon, not just in Punjab, but among the global Punjabi diaspora in Canada, the UK, Australia, and beyond. But with fame came controversy. Many of Moosewala's songs touched on themes of gun culture, and he was frequently criticized for allegedly glorifying violence and gang life. Some of his tracks celebrated weaponry and feuds, and in a state increasingly struggling with youth drug abuse and gang violence, his music became the center of a stormy debate. Still, millions saw in him not a gangster, but a mirror to their struggle, a young man unafraid to speak about what others wouldn't. As his fame soared, Moosewala's life became increasingly entangled with politics. In 2021, he formally entered the political arena by joining the Indian National Congress, Inc. It was a bold move. While many celebrities avoid controversy, Moosewala leaned in. He spoke against government failures, voiced support for farmers' rights during the protest movement, and even contested in the 2022 Punjab Legislative Assembly elections from Mansa, the very land he came from. Though he lost the election, his commitment to social causes and his popularity among youth remained intact. But politics wasn't the only battlefield Moosewala was walking into. By the time he was in his late 20s, gang violence had become deeply embedded in Punjab's criminal underworld, with names like Lawrence Bishnoi and Goldy Brar dominating headlines. These were not just petty criminals, they led organized crime syndicates with reach across India and international borders, including Canada and the UAE. Tensions between Moosewala and criminal gangs had been brewing for some time. Reports suggest that he had refused extortion demands, and some of his alleged associations or rivalries, real or perceived, put him in the crosshairs of violent men. One flashpoint came with the murder of Vicky Midakira, a Youth Akali Dal leader, in 2021. Although Moosewala was never legally implicated, whispers in gang circles suggested that his name or that of his associates might have been connected to the crime. Whether justified or not, such suspicions are dangerous currency in the underworld. What complicated matters further was the lack of consistent security. Owing to persistent threats to his life, the Punjab police had provided Sidhu Moosewala with 4 armed security commandos. However, on May 28, 2022, just one day before his murder, the Punjab government publicly announced the withdrawal or reduction of security for over 400 individuals, including Moosewala. It was a political move meant to combat the optics of VIP culture, but it left high-risk individuals like Moosewala dangerously exposed. That public notice became a blueprint for violence. In a cruel twist, Moosewala chose not to take even his reduced security detail with him the following day. Friends later said that his Mahindra Thar SUV couldn't accommodate both his security team and his companions. And so, on May 29, 2022, Sidhu Moosewala left his home with 2 friends, unaware that it would be the last time. As he drove through the dusty roads near Jawahark village, assassins lay in wait. Sidhu Moosewala, just 28, was minutes away from a brutal and meticulously planned assassination that would rock India, devastate millions, and expose the tangled mess of fame, crime, politics, and security failure in modern Punjab. This was not just the loss of a star, it was the silencing of a generation's voice. On the calm evening of May 29, 2022, the tranquil air of Jawahark village in Punjab's Mansa district was pierced by a barrage of gunfire. In a region familiar with the rhythms of tractors and temple bells, the sound of automatic weapons was alien, violent, and terrifying. Within minutes, what had begun as a casual outing transformed into a horrifying scene that would ripple across India and the global Punjabi diaspora. Inside a black Mahindra Thar SUV, its windshield shattered and its body riddled with bullet holes, lay the bloodied figure of Shabdeep Singh Sidhu, known worldwide as Sidhu Moosewala. Slumped in the driver's seat, he had been struck multiple times. 19 bullets tore through his body in a calculated, cold-blooded ambush. At just 28 years old, the towering icon of Punjabi music was now still and silent, his lifeblood staining the seat of the vehicle that was meant to be his escape, not his end. That day, Sidhu had made a fateful decision. He chose to leave home in his private, non-bulletproof Thar, accompanied by 2 close associates. His armored vehicle, which had become part of his routine due to mounting threats, and his armed security detail were both left behind. The reason, as later shared by friends and family, was heartbreakingly mundane. The Thar couldn't comfortably fit 5 people. Since his security detail had already been reduced by the Punjab government just days earlier as part of a controversial VIP security downsizing move, only 2 commandos remained assigned to him, and even they didn't accompany him that afternoon. At approximately 5:30 p.m., while driving through the narrow rural roads of Jawahar, 2 vehicles began to tail and then intercept Moosewala's SUV, a white Bolero and a Corolla. In what investigators would later describe as a military-style attack, heavily armed assailants emerged and unleashed a coordinated assault. They used an N-94 Russian assault rifle, a rare and deadly weapon, and handguns to spray bullets into the vehicle from both sides. Witnesses would recount the sound of relentless gunfire, the air thick with fear and confusion. Moosewala tried to retaliate. A licensed pistol was later found beside him, and bullet marks in different directions indicated he attempted to defend himself and his passengers. But the ambush was overwhelming. The SUV was quickly disabled, and within moments, Sidhu had been hit in the chest, neck, arms, and legs, a total of 19 wounds, according to the autopsy. In the chaos that followed, nearby villagers and Moosewala's own family, who were traveling in another vehicle, rushed to the scene. His father, Bakur Singh, witnessed the aftermath with his own eyes. He was the one who lifted his bleeding son from the SUV and took him to civil hospital, Mansa, praying that he would survive. But it was too late. Doctors declared Sidhu Moosewala dead on arrival. His 2 companions were injured but managed to survive the hail of bullets that claimed Moosewala's life. News of the assassination broke almost instantly. Social media platforms exploded. Within hours, video footage from the scene began circulating online, some showing Moosewala lying unresponsive in his vehicle, others capturing the anguished reactions of bystanders. Many of these clips were disturbing, uncensored, and painfully raw. His fans, both in India and abroad, were devastated. Crowds began to gather, first at the hospital, then outside his home in Musa village, and eventually at his funeral. Some were in tears, some shouted slogans, and others simply stood in stunned silence. The grief was collective, intense, and deeply personal for the millions who had found their own struggles and pride reflected in Sidhu Moosewala's music. The shock of Moosewala's murder quickly morphed into fury. The Punjab government came under immediate fire for its decision to curtail security. Many questioned why a high-risk celebrity, already under threat, had been left so vulnerable. Within hours, political leaders, artists, fans, and journalists were calling for accountability. Gang involvement was suspected early on. A now-deleted Facebook post attributed to Lawrence Bishnoi's gang claimed responsibility, alleging the killing was in retaliation for the 2021 murder of Youth Akali Dal leader Vicky Midakira. Bishnoi, already in police custody, denied authoring the post but remained under investigation. Bishnoi was eventually named by police as the mastermind behind the assassination. Another major name surfaced, Satinder Singh, alias Goldy Brar, a Canadian gangster of Punjabi origin and a known associate of Bishnoi. Brar claimed that Moosewala was killed by his Punjab module and took credit for the operation. Both Brar and Bishnoi had a long trail of criminal cases in India, and Moosewala's murder seemed to be the culmination of growing gang rivalries spilling into the public sphere. The Punjab police launched an expansive investigation. They began tracking mobile signals, vehicle movements, and weapons used in the killing. Over the next few days, multiple arrests were made across states. 6 suspects were detained in Uttarakhand. One suspect was caught while attempting to blend in with pilgrims at the remote Gurudwara Sri Hemkund Sahib. Forensic teams matched bullet casings to an N94 rifle and a pistol recovered from the crime scene. According to the post-mortem, Moosewala had suffered 19 bullet wounds. The autopsy, conducted by a panel of 5 doctors and recorded on video, confirmed that he died within 15 minutes of being shot. On June 3, 2022, Lawrence Bishnoi reportedly admitted his involvement in the murder. According to reports, he claimed a personal and ideological rivalry with Moosewala. The very mention of his name became synonymous with organized gang violence in northern India. Then, on July 3, Delhi police arrested Ankit Sirsa, identified as one of the shooters. Just a few weeks later, on July 20, 2 more suspected shooters, Manpreet Mannu and Jagrup Rupa, were killed in an encounter with Punjab police. On July 26, reports emerged that the last absconding shooter, Deepak Mundi, had been arrested. However, the Indian Express would later correct that timeline, stating Mundi had actually been captured on September 11 near the Bengal-Nepal border, an arrest that signaled the near completion of a sprawling multi-state manhunt. Tragically, the violence didn't end there. In Goindwal Sahib Central Jail, 2 of the accused in Moosewala's murder were killed in a gang-related brawl. A third suspect was critically injured. Even behind bars, the vendettas that led to Moosewala's killing continued to claim lives. The assassination quickly spiraled into a political crisis. The Aam Admi Party, AAP, led by Bhagwant Mann in Punjab, faced severe criticism. Just a day after the murder, the Delhi unit of the Indian National Congress, Inc., staged a protest outside AAP leader Arvind Kejriwal's residence, blaming the government's decision to downgrade Moosewala's security for the tragedy. Chief Minister Mann condemned the killing, calling Sidhu Moosewala a cultural icon of Punjab, and expressing heartfelt condolences to his grieving family. Under pressure, he announced the formation of a judicial commission to investigate the circumstances surrounding the murder and the decision to reduce security. The killing highlighted broader issues: gangster politics in Punjab, the nexus of crime and fame, and glaring lapses in state protection protocols. It also reignited debate over Operation Blue Star's legacy and the state's politically fraught history with public safety around that anniversary. So that was today's case, the assassination of Sidhu Moosewala, a story not just of bullets and bloodshed, but of fame, fear, betrayal, and a broken system. A young voice that once roared through speakers around the world was silenced in a matter of seconds. But his legacy lives on, through his music, through his fans, and through the fight for justice that continues to this day. What do you think? Was this purely a gang war? A political failure? Or something even deeper? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life crime stories that the world must not forget. Until then, stay aware, stay safe, and always question the silence.